something I've noticed, it's cyclical, right? Pay attention to trends and track them in addition to your KPIs, right? Every summer, I find that personal development is on a backseat for many, not all individuals, opposed to traveling, vacationing, right? Seeing friends and family. Welcome to our final episode of the year. If you're a founder, you know the end of the year isn't about slowing down. It's about the strategic pause. It's the only time we can look up from the battlefield and plan for the offensive side of 2026. My name is Vincent A. Lanci, and I want to thank you, the amazing listeners, for making this That Entrepreneur Show a top global podcast. It's still ranked in the top 2.5% of global shows over on Listen Notes. And this has been going on since 2019, right? We've been rocking and rolling with at least weekly shows. And before I get into things like what's going on in my future, how my business is changing, that exciting stuff, some numbers, right? You may be curious. Let's cut through the noise. I'm going to distill 3 brutal, non-obvious truths that our guests universally confirmed, which gives you an immediate action plan for the new year. And today we're brought to you by ComingAlivePodcastProduction.com. If you're looking for a new way to grow your business, find new avenues for success and fulfillment, head to ComingAlivePodcastProduction.com today to book a free call to get your podcast journey started. But I want to dive into truth 1. The Apple struggle is real, more of a financial truth, and this will show you and emphasize how growth does not always equal cash flow. Do you remember back to Elliott Callen's episode? The hardest struggle isn't market fit, it's the cash-strapped, uncontrolled growth paradox. You can look like an apple externally, but bleeding internally. So I come across this question. How do you survive the gap between scaling revenue and optimizing profit? And an actionable takeaway for this is the burn rate reality check, right? We're going to do a Q4 audit. I'm challenging you listening on to define your true current burn rate and cash runway with brutal honesty, not optimism, right? This isn't being submitted for a grade to anyone. It's only to make you grow, and we'll be diving into all of this throughout the show. And as you do this audit, let's now move to a strategic hire. Based on your audit, all of these things, we want to make sure we're hiring people who complement us and our mission. So think, is your next hire a revenue driver or process stabilizer? I love this truth because it really challenges us to be honest with ourselves, which will help grow our business. Be sure to stick around to the end of the show on how I'm growing my business and how I can best serve you, even if you are not a podcaster or someone who wants to start a show. Something really exciting I can't wait to share. The next truth I'm diving into is adversity is the engine, right? We talked about the financial truth. Now let's dig into the resilience truth. Growth comes from adversity, and failure is the foundation, right? I like to refer to these as lessons learned. If you're new to my story, my journey, it's your first episode with us. You picked a good one because a lot of values coming your way. But I was hit by a car leaving a bar when I was 21 years old. I was walking home and hit by a car and woke up about a week later out of a coma, not knowing which school I went to, all of these things, relearning to walk and talk. This adversity, this experience of challenging times, even still today, has helped build this entrepreneurial journey, and the resilience I gained in never giving up in that experience has carried right over to entrepreneurship. To all my loyal listeners out there who have tuned into the show, you've heard many personal setbacks, right? Overcoming tragic loss, bankruptcy, selling companies. No founder on the show has had an easy, straight path. The toughest times produced the clearest vision, and the same will go for you. I challenge you to not give up when things get slow, when things get challenging, or even more challenging, I should say, because entrepreneurship is like life. There are constant ups and downs, and it's our job to use truth one, right? Digging deep into ourselves, being honest with ourselves. Now, truth two, fueling adversity, using these things to do that, produce the clearest vision. You may be thinking, how do you build an unshakable foundation when your whole world is falling apart? Here's an actionable step: the failure inventory. I challenge you, my amazing listeners and supporters and hardworking entrepreneurs and business owners, write down your 3 biggest failures and setbacks from the last year. Now, it's not to dwell on the pain. Immediately follow up with this activity by defining the one major insight and the one new system that was born directly from that failure. I hope this reinforces that the setback was actually an investment, right? A growth technique that it may have been very hard to deal with, and I go through quite a few of these. You'll find yourself coming out on the other side in the sun. Remember, resilience is the driving force, not constant success. Success will come and grow. It's up to you to stay resilient, stay focused, hungry, determined to keep going and wake up the next day and stick to it when it feels like how we started. The whole world is falling apart. As we get into truth 3 here, we touched on the resilience truth, the financial truth. Remember to subscribe to stay current with the amazing year of episodes we have ahead of us this year. And we started in 2019. We've had at least one a week and things are not slowing down, which leads us to truth 3. Legacy is the only metric. The purpose and systems truth, right? It's going to be a little different than the financial truth, the resilience truth, because now we're building systems as your business grows. Things change. And in order to pivot correctly and find that long-term success, not just short-term success, we need to reflect to people like Gar Russell, who's on the show. He built the empire on repeatable systems and processes, like franchising. Way back, David Jenyns, right? David Jenyns is an absolute rock star who's been on the show a bunch of times from out in Australia. Side note, an awesome benefit of a podcast is connecting with entrepreneurs worldwide, which is growing your brand worldwide. He's got books on systems. He runs Systemology, a lot of amazing things he does in his world. My systems and processes are always evolving, and I didn't see the needle move the slightest bit back when I was still an MBA grad working as a server, which is an incredible industry and plays a great role and stepping stone for entrepreneurs and an amazing life for those foodies and those who love the industry. But I had no systems in place. I didn't have an assistant yet. The itty bitty committee in my head, right? Where I don't need an assistant. I don't have enough work. Oh, well, you do. Just start small and then get bigger. And then the systems in place as you scale. If the systems aren't in place, you're not going to be able to scale as quickly, efficiently, and you might even take some steps back if you're not prepared, and constantly improve, right? And revise your, not just systems, but all of your company documents, because we want things to be smooth and efficient. So when you do scale, you're off to the races and you're enjoying the fruit of your labor. If you're asking how you design a business that runs itself and leaves a lasting impact, we're going to call this takeaway the system swap. Name the single task that you do most often this year that doesn't require your unique genius. This can be a repetitive task or something that can be systemized, right? This repetitive task must be documented and delegated and automated in the first 30 days of the new year. If you can't delegate it, you can't scale it. And remember, focus on systems over heroic effort. And I want to hear how this works for you. Amongst all these truths, please email me and the team, podcasts by Lanci, that's plural podcasts by Lanci at gmail.com, because we want to hear all about it. So before I wrap up and revisit these truths to make sure there's clarity, I'm going to share what I'm up to in my business and then some analytics, right? Some numbers of what exactly is going on in the show. I'm excited to talk about how my business is growing, right? This time last year, I was hire crazy. We're scaling, hiring too many people. Now We're honed in on the people that want to be here, who have proven reliable and have proven to work well with our clients. But something I've noticed, it's cyclical, right? Pay attention to trends and track them in addition to your KPIs, right? Every summer, I find that personal development is on a backseat for many, not all individuals, opposed to traveling, vacationing, right? Seeing friends and family. It's a cyclical slow point where although I do close clients, I'm not getting as many contracts than in Q4 and Q1, right? So something I'm going to be diving deeper into. And I hope if this resonates with you, you'll reach out to me for absolutely free on a discovery call, timewithvincent.com. Or if you can share this message with someone who may find value. I am very grateful for my progress and recovery with a traumatic brain injury. I know all of the challenges and difficulties that make some days a living nightmare for not just me, my family, and loved ones. I'm going to do a lot more coaching, and the feedback I've got from ones I've done is just remarkable, and I'm grateful and humbled. So now I'm going to be diving into more brain injury coaching where you work directly with me, right? Coming Alive Podcast Production has an amazing team built of podcasters and those with experience in podcasting, whether it be editing, you name it. The brain injury coaching, you're working one-on-one with me, actionable steps, plans, things to look forward to, right? Getting you from point A to B as best as it can be and helping you live a more fulfilled and successful life. Remember, you can email Danica at podcastsbylanci@gmail.com for all of these areas of inquiry. But for this one, definitely label the subject bar, brain injury coaching. I would love to hear from you, and I would absolutely love to work with you. And I hope you're as excited as I am for all the new growth in my business, as I'm going to be able to serve and work with more of you. So now, before I wrap up those 3 truths, I want to talk about some numbers, right? You may be curious. As I'm recording this in early December, 82,746 downloads, right? Since we went live. I can't thank you enough for listening, but I've got some more for you. You may be thinking, Vince, what's the most popular show? We have a show from June 2nd, 2021, over 4 years old, helping thousands hit a global scale. That was an incredible show with someone who I ended up working for as a ghostwriter, Vincent. So congratulations on your success in that show. Next up, we have All Things John Maxwell, Leadership and Strategy. This was back on June 17th, 2022 with Lanci, an unbelievable leader there. And to round out the top 3 with Goal Setting and Goal Crushing with Sandra Halling. That was an incredible show. I've actually got some more numbers, if you will, but this time they're different statistics. So all time, believe it or not, a lot of people tune in, or the majority from Apple iTunes, right? A lot of people listen to from computers, but a statistic I'm fascinated by, and this is with Buzzsprout. If it's your hosting site, you can see it in the stats tab at the end. And if you want to host in Buzzsprout, I've got discounts for you. Head to vincentalanci.com under the affiliates tab, and you can check out an awesome savings. But all time, out of those total downloads, 93% was done in the North American region, 77.5 thousand downloads, but we've got 327 downloads in South America, 338 in Africa, 2,448, woohoo, in Europe, 1,768 in Asia, and 367 in Oceania. And I hope you found some value in that, because I want to encourage you to share this with people in different areas than you, because we are a worldwide entrepreneurship show to help you bridge the gap between having no textbook for a business like entrepreneurship and to thriving. So now I want to dive back into those 3 truths. Remember, the Apple struggle is real. Growth does not equal cash flow. You have to only remember that some of the time. Then we talked about adversity as the engine, right? The resilience truth. Growth comes from adversity and is the foundation of your business. Then, before I touched on what's next with me and the show statistics, we talked about how legacy is the only metric, right? Delegating, building systems that work. We're coming back strong for our first episode of the new year with an awesome guest panel. I'm not going to spoil who's there, but they're some of our show favorites. So be sure to subscribe to stay updated with that. And these 4 founders we're talking about, biggest market opportunities, challenges of the new year, things they're looking forward to in the new year, some things they've been struggling with, all the things that you don't want to miss. So remember to subscribe, leave a rating and review, and share this with someone who may find value with it, because with that, I'm signing off today right here on That Entrepreneur Show. Thank you for tuning in to another episode. I would love to hear your feedback. What did you love? What do you want to see more of? Are there any questions you would like me to ask the guests who come on the show? This show is not possible without you, the amazing listeners, so please email us at podcastsbylanci@gmail.com and let us know what you think. We'll also feature you on a later show. Please remember to subscribe to stay current with our amazing community of guests who will continue to come on the show, sprinkled in with solo episodes from me, Vincent A. Lanci. With that, I look forward to introducing more shows to you each and every week. And with that, we're signing off today. Enjoy the episodes and make it a great day ahead.